Hello, my brothers and sisters. Welcome back to this channel. Today, I will be having a conversation with a wonderful tutor from Cambly. But before I begin, let me tell you something about Cambly. Cambly is the only app in India that provides one-on-one private English classes with tutors from different countries like the USA, Canada, UK, and many more countries. It is especially useful for those who know how to read, write, but struggle in speaking English fluently and confidently. You can choose from various courses like Business English, IELTS, Personality Development, and many more other courses. Tutors on Cambly are friendly and supportive who will help you improve your weak areas without any judgment. To get 50% off and a free gift hamper worth 2500 rupees, use the code EBP50. EBP50. So hurry up to boost your confidence. Take this offer before it gets over. So let's start without wasting further time and enjoy our conversation.
We should have a balanced diet of vegetarian food. So I think, ma'am, that might be the problem of the baby. Otherwise, I can't believe it.
What inspired you to be so in love with nature? What about the situation in your country with animals? Do you think that people protect animals as much as they should? What do you think is the reason that people kill animals? How do you think that we could find a humane way to kill these animals? Do you think that because of the big population, there is also a lot more pollution? What would you do to fix this situation? I mean,
Hello, ma'am.
hi, Havisha. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Sasha. How are you?
Nice to meet you too, ma'am. And I'm right as rain.
I'm happy to hear that. Are you ready for our lesson today?
Yes, I'm totally ready.
Okay, so since we have a free talk for today, tell me, what do you want us to talk about today?
Ma'am, the ball is in your court. I
Excellent.
really,
Mhm,
I
go ahead.
really, yes, ma'am. I was saying I'm neutral with everything. You talk.
Okay, so let's start with a bit of a self introduction since this is our first lesson together. Can you tell me something more about yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Havisha, and I am in 6th standard and 11 years old. Basically, I'm from Jaipur, but my father is in defense and he's posted in Bangalore. So, right now, I'm in Bangalore. In my leisure time, I love to read spiritual books, and apart from reading spiritual books, I love to ride cycle and play role playing games with my siblings. My short term plan is to do well in studies and get good marks. My long term plan is to help the people who are needy and less fortunate. Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm. Okay, so tell me, what kind of role playing games do you like to play?
I like to play role playing games like we'll choose an episode from the TV and then we'll choose like this. My sister will be one character and I'll be the another. And we'll just make up stories. We'll not act according to the real intention. We'll make up stories changing the context.
Okay, so can you tell me who is your favorite character to play so far?
I love to do the character of um, the gopis,
The Gopis?
village
What is that?
village woman, cowherd village woman.
Okay, why? Why is this your favorite character?
Actually, ma'am, to be honest, I have a green thumb. So I love nature
Mhm.
and village is the best place to have a look with to hang around
Mhm.
nature. So I love playing villages and in villages I've seen in videos some gopis we call them who are very nice cowherd women living in villages. Beautiful in the village, beautiful essence of flowers and awesome background is there. So I like to make that and try to make a mud home rather than a building. And and that is a cowherd woman. So I would like to be a woman of villages. I think in the olden times it would be. real.
Nice. Okay. Okay, so can you tell me, besides liking these kind of role-playing games and stuff like that, why do you like nature so much? What inspired you to be so in love with nature?
Man, the beautiful greenery, and I don't want to miss the beautiful greenery scenery. It's so
Hmm.
beautiful. So that's beauty attracted me. And moreover, in my native, I have a beautiful garden with cows, which are my favorite animal, and a beautiful place to play with mud. We make some sweets out of wet sand.
Hmm.
There are plants. There's a beautiful garden. My mm, my na- my grandfather has a hose, and he'll water all of them with
Hmm.
a hose, with something we call with a pipe.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a hose. You can say with a hose. Yeah.
Hose. This hose is very helpful for bringing water to faraway places in the garden which you really don't feel like bringing your watering can to. It's a very nice thing to give water to the plants. I always love to use a hose rather than a watering can.
Hose.
Okay. And what is your favorite natural place that you have visited in your life?
I think the favorite natural place I have visited in my life. In our country, there's problem: pollution and population. So
Hmm.
we'll get a lot of pollution here. So I think we'll rarely be able to visit some places. But yes, I've seen the scenery of beautiful places eye to eye. Really, it's in my balcony. I see a very beautiful place, garden, but I've never been to it because my mother is scared. She does not want me to go there. I will be astonished by the beauty. And yes, apart from that, I have visited in my native place the garden which we have. That is the beautifulest place. I think so.
Okay. Is there any place in nature that you have never been to, somewhere in the world that you would like to see one day?
Yes, I would like to visit a play. I really don't know the name, but yes, I like river. I like um river banks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's no like have you seen some national parks in America or the Grand Canyon or some specific places, some oceans or beaches? There's no special place that has caught your eye that you would like to go to?
Ma'am, I yes, I don't know the name, but yes, in our TV we don't put anything. Pictures of nature will be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
There are big, awkward shaped mountains.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I want to go.
Mm-hmm. And tell me, you mentioned that in your country, of course, there is a big problem with population and pollution. Do you think that because of the big population, there is also a lot more pollution, or do you think it's just because people do not care enough about nature? Do you think that if people were more conscious about taking care of nature, that the big population would not be such a big problem in your country?
Now, I think the population does not affect much to
Mhm.
the pollution. But if more people who don't care, generally use normal transports, they don't use public transports to travel. They don't care about nature. If there is more population of those type of people, then our nature may be in danger.
Yes,
But
of
yeah,
course. So people have to learn more about. So, what would you do to fix this situation? I mean, how do you think that the situation in your country could be improved to lower the pollution?
I think that we should not there should be, I think there should be more agricultural lands which can, so, and there should be, and I think people should you should not use not normal transport. They should use public transports so that the pollution will not be much, and all the people can travel a lot. We should not, for example, cars and bikes. I think it's a world famous cars and bikes, because I think
Mm-hmm.
wherever I go, cars and bikes will be available. Cars and bikes. But I think instead of using cars and bikes, there will be many people in this world, in this city or some place who want to go to school. If we all use cars and bikes, there will be more pollution. But all of them go into one bus and then go. That'll save our nature. We should plant more trees. We should all have a beautiful garden, and I think so. That's enough. But yes, I don't like one rule which my mother tells me. I don't like it because if it is someone's garden, only that person has the right to go and pluck things from it. If it is a person's garden, it grew and he grew tomatoes, it has the person's right only to pluck tomatoes. That is okay. But yes, they think. But there are sometimes. But yes, if something has simply grown, or I'd say they means how can I put up this? Yes, in normal areas, there will be normal areas where something automatically on its own it grew. But yes,
Okay. Okay,
then
I agree with that.
for example, there's a person who
Mhm.
did not try tend to grow anything, but
Mhm.
yes, a plant grew on its own. A plant
Mhm.
grew on its own, and then a plant grew on its own, and then the person started making a garden, a boundary for the garden, and it included that tree also, which was not made by that person. In fact, it grew on its own. It was a volunteering plant.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Volunteer plant, volunteer pumpkin, volunteer beans, volunteer pepper. Have you heard of it? Volunteer plants means a plant which grew on its own. You did not intend it to grow it, but it just grew on its own because you just wanted to. It is volunteering to grow. For example, I have this plant, I grew these flowers, but I did not intend to grow this plant. It just grew on its own. It is volunteering to grow. So I would say this is a volunteer plant. We have many volunteer plants here. Let's take another example.
It didn't grow on its own. It was from past. It was there simply here, but
Mhm.
that person will be bossy and say, "This is my plant." I don't like that. In our balcony also we have a guava tree who was nice, really grown, not by anybody,
Mhm.
it grew on its own. But yes, there is a garden boundary line which includes that tree. So I can't pluck it, even though it's not the only that particular person's, it's everybody's. Because he didn't afford to grow that tree. It simply grew off. That's the
Mhm.
thing I don't like in my society. It is that.
What about the situation in your country with animals? Do you think that people protect animals as much as they should, or do you think that animals do not have enough protection?
I think some animals do have protection, whereas other animals are being killed.
Okay, so how do you think that we can stop that?
I think we can stop that by a simple way. We should not kill animals. That's all I can say. Because even if we stop them with thousands of words, but if someone is determined to kill animals, we can't stop him.
Okay, but what do you think is the reason that people kill animals? For example, you know that people grow and kill a lot of animals for their meat. What do you think about this? Do you think that this makes sense and that this should be done, or that people should not be doing these things?
Ma'am, it depends. I think I don't like meat, so I don't like meat, and I really oppose this thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you know that for some people, they prefer to eat meat, and especially for kids, they need to eat meat when they are young because they need to be able to grow and they need strong bones, and their blood needs some different vitamins that can only be found in meat. So, how do you think that we could find um, a humane way to kill these animals, but for them
Now,
to not suffer as much as they do?
ma'am, why should we
Hmm.
kill animals? Animals are just like people, friendly people. They are also citizens. Why should we kill animals? And moreover, ma'am, you just said we shouldn't get vitamins from animals. Can't we
Hmm.
get proteins from soya beans? We can get.
We
So
can
why
get
do we?
proteins, but you cannot. For example, when a baby is growing, there are specific vitamins and nutrients that you cannot get from soybeans. For example, a couple of years ago, there was a family, a couple who had a baby, and they grew their baby on a vegetarian diet. After 3 years, the baby was underdeveloped. The family, the parents were arrested. And now the baby will never grow up to be completely healthy. And she will always have problems because they did not feed her the adequate meat and milk that she needed when she was growing. So, unfortunately for babies, our bodies are still not accustomed to living as vegetarians. When you come to a certain age, maybe 12 or 13 or 14 or 15, then you can choose if you want to throw meat out of your diet. But when you are younger, for most, especially babies from when they're just born up to like 2 or 3 years old, they require meat for their bones to grow stronger because unfortunately, not all of the nutrients that you find in meat can be found in vegetables and fruits for a growing, developing body. So this happened, I think, in Sweden or something like that. And the baby has some serious health problems now. Her bones are not developing, and she has a lack of calcium and a lack of some other proteins and vitamins and nutrients that she should have been getting from different foods that contain different types of meat inside.
Perhaps, ma'am, perhaps that child couldn't have get the proper a balanced diet. Actually, if we eat vegetarian, that's not enough. If we eat only ghee, that's not enough. We should have a balanced diet of vegetarian food. So I think, ma'am, that might be the problem of the baby. Otherwise, I can't believe it.
Maybe it's a
Calcium can get better.
possibility, but I know that this was like a very important case, and I know that it was everywhere on TV, and I know that essentially the baby was as healthy as the baby could be, but they were, I think that they were maybe feeding her a vegan diet. So besides taking away meat, they also took away eggs and milk and stuff like that. So the baby's body ended up being seriously underdeveloped. And even after they took the baby from the parents and they tried to put her on a normal diet and give her all of the vitamins and nutrients through different infusions into her blood, the doctor said that she will never be able to fully develop and she will stay as an underdeveloped child just because of the carelessness of these parents. So there are a lot of things about our body that we don't know, and unfortunately evolution has still not taught us to live so easily without meat. So I think that that could be a problem. I mean, I'm a